Welcome to HWPL's 9th annual Commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace. March 25, 2013, HWPL proclaimed the Declaration of World Peace at the Peace Gate in Seoul, Korea. Young adults in the center, global citizens embarked on a peace walk, campaigning to become messengers of peace. Now you can bring the spirit of the Declaration of World Peace into your daily fabric and support HWPL's peace activities wherever you are around the globe. Here's how. Sign up and become an HWPL member. Join the work for peace by signing up as a member of HWPL. You can directly support HWPL's activities and be the first to get HWPL's peace news. HWPL offers two types of membership. First, follow these steps to become an individual member. Open your internet browser. From the menu, choose Member, and then choose Register. Click the button for Individual. Please fill out all 10 items. As a member of HWPL, you can support HWPL's peace projects. Please select the membership fee and payment period of your choice. Remember to agree to receive emails to get HWPL's newsletters and the latest news on events. Once you press or click register, you will receive an email for the final step of authentication. Once you authenticate, your membership is registered. Second, follow these steps to sign up as a group member. Go to Member and choose Register. Click the button for Organization. Please fill in the 7 items of member information. Agree to receive emails and get HWPL's newsletters and the latest news on events. After you click or press register, you will receive an authentication email. Once you authenticate, you are now an HWPL member. Sign your support for the DPCW. Choose LP Project from HWPL homepage and open Sign Your Support campaign. You can give your signature in support of the DPCW by filling out your name, nationality, and email address. Click Support now, and your signing is done. From wherever you are, you can become HWPL's member, and you can take part in the peace activity by supporting the DPCW. Join the cause of peace that transcends nations, religions, and ethnicities. Thank you.
전체 각국 대통령은 국제법의 전쟁 정치 세계 평화에 사용해야 한다. 둘째, 각국 청년들은 국제 청년 그룹에 등록하고 세계 평화를 위해 전쟁이 종식되게 해야 한다. 셋째, 온 지구촌 가족은 평화의 되어 세계평화 강복을 위해 함께 뛰어야 한다. 세계평화 강복은 시작되었다.
지구촌 가족 여러분 안녕하십니까?
Greetings to the global family. Welcome to HWPL's 9th anniversary of the Declaration of World Peace. Today's event is being hosted by Heavenly Culture, World Peace, Restoration of Light, and supported by the International Peace Youth Group and the International Women's Peace Group. My name is Ko Soo-hyun, and I will be your MC for today. On May 25, 2013, the Declaration of World Peace was proclaimed in front of the Olympic Park's Peace Gate in Seoul, South Korea. It was a meaningful day that taught us that world peace without conflict cannot be fulfilled by one individual or country, but only through collective determination and action. In addition, the Peace Walk Festival, which over 30,000 people attended, was the beginning of an international peace activity that transcends nationality, ethnicity, religion, and culture. HWPL, which was established following these principles, proclaimed the 10 articles and 38 clauses of the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, which stemmed from the Declaration of World Peace. HWPL has also strengthened cooperation among international organizations, governments, and civil organizations so that peace can become a part of our daily lives. In the midst of repetitive wars and threats, people are desiring peace ever more to protect their lives and safety. Now, more than ever, we need the implementation of international law for peace based on the 10 articles and 38 clauses of the DPCW. Today's event will introduce the current status and case studies of peace-building initiatives being conducted by HWPL in cooperation with many organizations to institutionalize peace based on the DPCW. We ask for your support and participation so that we can create a united world where different values are respected and people live in harmony based on understanding and communication. We will now commence HWPL's 9th anniversary of the Declaration of World Peace. We received messages from around the world congratulating the anniversary of the proclamation of the Declaration of World Peace and HWPL's establishment.
Hommage à tous les militants de la paix. Je m'appelle Amadou Cissé, ancien ministre, ancien député. Permettez-moi tout d'abord de féliciter toutes et tous pour la 9e commémoration annuelle de la Déclaration de la paix mondiale par HWPL. Aussi, je voudrais remercier le président Lee et HWPL pour les efforts incessants menés pour atteindre la paix mondiale et la prospérité pour toutes les nations. Comme nous le savons tous, le 25 mai 2013, la déclaration de paix mondiale a été proclamée. Ce fut un moment important où le mouvement de la paix de HWPL, mené par la société civile, a commencé à se répandre dans le monde entier. La déclaration souligne la nécessité d'établir le droit international pour la paix et encourage tous les citoyens, femmes et jeunes du monde entier à devenir des messagers de la paix. L'événement cette année a pour thème institutionnaliser la paix, réaliser la volonté collective de paix. Je trouve que cette étape est essentielle pour atteindre une paix durable. Je vous souhaite à toutes et à tous de recevoir l'inspiration pour la paix et de reconnaître toutes les activités actuellement mises en œuvre par le projet Légiférer la paix d'HWPL. Je suis heureux, en tant qu'ancien ministre, ancien député, de voir se développer ce grand mouvement de la société civile pour la paix au Mali. J'espère que de tels mouvements voient le jour dans le monde entier. Encore une fois, je vous félicite toutes et tous très sincèrement pour les actions que vous menez tous les jours en faveur de la paix. Je vous remercie.
My warmest congratulations to the peace warriors of the heavenly culture, World Peace Restoration of Light on your 9th annual commemoration of World Peace Declaration. The world should be thankful for having a movement such as the HWP that relentlessly tries to help stop global strife. In a volatile environment where war could be easily triggered among men and nations, the role and mission of the HWPL has become of paramount importance. As a peace warrior myself and a former chair of the Philippine Government Peace Panel, I fully support all the endeavors of the HWPL, especially those that seek to guarantee peace through legal means. Our government intends to end the armed conflicts in the country and its territorial disputes with diplomacy. This is why I truly believe that the Philippines and the HWPL can be very good partners in many ways to promote peace. At the moment, my wish is for the HWPL to gain more support from around the world so that it can expand its operations and, most importantly, create a better world for mankind.
To all the peace soldiers of the world, all the peace messengers, my name is Honorable Dr. Christopher Kadila. I'm coming live to all of you, proponents of peace globally. I'm a member of parliament in the Republic of Zambia. I'm also the chairperson of the Health Committee and also the former Deputy Minister of Health. My message today is to congratulate HWPL and its chairman, Mr. Man Healy, on the occasion of the commemoration of the Declaration of Peace. I'm informed that this declaration was pronounced on the 25th of May, which means that 25th of May is a very important day in the calendar of HWPL. Peace is very important globally because every undertaking of any human being requires peace. And therefore, anybody, anywhere who is involved in the promotion of peace must be commended, such as we are commending this NGO. We are all aware that the world today, unfortunately, is mired into various forms of conflict, various parts of the world. We don't know what's happening. So we must all work together to ensure that there is peace. And that is why I send this message of congratulations to HWPL and all those that have been involved in the promotion of peace globally. In this world, we are one. We are all made in the same way wherever we are. Therefore, we must strive and ensure that we work together to promote peace. We are one indeed. Thank you.
네, 감사드립니다.
Thank you. I believe that we have come one step closer to institutionalizing peace through your enthusiastic support and encouragement. Next is HWPL's progress report, which will be followed by the IPYG's commemorative address. The IPYG, which is a coalition of youth around the world, actively conducts independent peace initiatives as a wing of HWPL. IPYG's General Director, Jung Young-min, will present HWPL's progress report for the realization of the Declaration of World Peace and commemorative address. Please give him a warm round of applause.
Greetings, family of peace. I am Jung Young-min, the General Director of the International Peace Youth Group. Amid countless conflicts and disputes across the globe, we have gathered here to build a peaceful era. I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to everyone here. As we celebrate the day of establishment of HWPL and the proclamation of the Declaration of World Peace on May 25th, I'd like to share peace progress of HWPL made together with people worldwide over the past 9 years, focusing on the results of the May 25th event. First of all, HWPL was founded for global peace and cessation of war, transcending nationalities, religions, and ethnicities. HWPL is an NGO associated with the UNDGC, and it's in special consultative status with the UN ECOSOC. Together with 193 UN members and NGOs across the globe, HWPL has been striving to meet the SDGs as well. 9 years ago from today on May 25, 2013, HWPL Chairman Mani Lee stood before the World Peace Gate in Seoul, South Korea, and urged heads of state, youth, and members of the global community to engage in building a peaceful world by proclaiming the Declaration of World Peace. After the proclamation, HWPL has been working with global peace messengers to fulfill the promises made then, including the peace walks held jointly with the IPYG, which mainly focuses on youth-related issues. HWPL put in diverse efforts for peace, and in 2016, it proclaimed the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War with international law experts. Afterward, HWPL has been cooperating with governments, international organizations, and civil societies for the implementation of the DPCW. Also, citizens of each country are continuously calling on national leaders to support and implement the DPCW. Following May 25, 2013, HWPL launched the Peace Walk campaign, which calls for the implementation of international law for peace based on the shared will of global citizens. Designed to be in the most peaceful form of citizens promoting peace, the campaign attracted hundreds of thousands of people every year since it began in 2013, and the total participant reaches 3.03 million to date. The citizen solidarity derived from the peace walks has now become the symbol of HWPL's movement for peace. Although it seemed to have slowed down since 2020 due to the pandemic, Marching On for Peace continued with even more momentum globally, with online activities full of vigor. The Legislate Peace Project embodies a wide range of endeavors that promote to all walks of life the value of the DPCW, which contributes to laying the foundation for world peace. To directly express their will, 730,000 people from 176 countries have signed in support of the DPCW in the past 9 years. Also, youth led the efforts to send handwritten letters to national leaders, urging their endorsement to the DPCW. Through this peace letter campaign, over 580,000 letters were written and delivered to leaders of 192 countries, and replies came from 34 current heads of state, parliament leaders, Supreme Court justices, and ministers from 27 countries so far. Also, HWPL launched work offices to address religious conflicts that often serve as key causes of war. As of 2022, there are 272 offices in 129 countries. Despite the pandemic, the passion of religious leaders to realize peace further ignited in 2022, and in just 3 months since January, scriptural comparison dialogues were held 1,193 times. This is a 144% hike compared to the previous year. Teaching the value of peace to the people worldwide through the HWPL Peace Education is another crucial part of the LP project. HWPL signed peace education MOUs and MOAs with 262 educational institutions in 45 countries and held 1,774 sessions of peace education in 62 countries while fostering peace educators as well. Media delivering the news of peace is a firm pillar of the LP project. Media agencies working with HWPL stand at the forefront of covering global peace activities such as the promotion of human rights, humanitarian support, volunteering, and education. Through this media network for peace, 1,609 media agencies from 159 countries have covered HWPL's peace endeavors from 2020 to date. Also, HWPL held Peace Media Forum to propose the role of media in advancing peace. The Declaration of World Peace highlights the solidarity of the youth across the globe for peace. The IPYG, affiliated with HWPL and working with 851 organizations in 119 countries, serves as a hub of global youth network for peace while carrying out the LP project with youth worldwide. Recently, the IPYG invited youth from different countries to discuss current issues facing youth and proposed action plans and policies at its Youth Empowerment Peace Workshop, or YEPW. Last year alone, over 2,000 youth participants from 55 countries gathered at YEPW to discuss and act upon what you can do amid education disruption, human rights violation, conflicts, and violence. Furthermore, the IPYG thought of youth suffering from lack of education and started the Youth Empowerment Peace Class, or YEPC, providing education on health, hygiene, family, parental role, global citizenship, and other essential topics needed in this era. In just last year, over 1,000 youth from 62 countries have joined the program. The Declaration of World Peace proclaimed on May 25, 2013 is being fulfilled one by one. This was possible thanks to you, the family of peace, as you have shown your commitment and devotion to peace. Amid the tough challenges that we've faced over the past 3 years, we put into practice our common will toward peace, and we're laying the foundation for institutionalization of peace to ensure organized actions. Ultimately, we will cease wars and achieve peace across the globe. This marks the end of the progress report at the 9th annual commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace.
As you have just seen, the IPYG started out with HWPL in 2013, and for the past 10 years, it has been working in solidarity with youth organizations in over 120 countries to realize the Declaration of World Peace. Especially in the last 6 months, the IPYG formed new partnerships with 90 youth groups. Even at this moment, it is moving forward to protect young people from threats of war and to leave peace as a legacy for future generations. When it comes to peace and cessation of conflict, the role of youth is essential. However, many places are still without a network platform of youth for the realization of peace. I would like to ask all the young people watching this event, if you have passion for a world of peace in your heart, please participate in the IPYG activities more actively. Currently, the IPYG is conducting a workshop called YEPW to build partnerships with youth leaders and address the issues that young people are facing. An excellent example of this is the Global YEPW in February, where young leaders from 35 countries came together and discussed how to get the youth's voices heard. Young people around the world have stressed the importance of a platform for youth agendas. So in an attempt to institutionalize YEPW, the IPYG is establishing a youth council by region. Preparations for this have already begun in some places. Through this council, young people will gather their opinions, propose peace policies to governments and leaders, and participate in implementation of such policies. This process will be a very important initiative that will ensure youth participation, which is one of the key goals of sustainable development set by the UN and the international community. Also, the IPYG is expanding YEPC for students who are left behind without education. Youth are the leaders of the future, but the world today is unable to provide a good foundation on which they may build their dreams. According to a recent report issued by the UN, the issue of lost educational opportunities due to the pandemic is very serious, and children who lack minimum reading proficiency have increased by 100 million, making the global reading proficiency rate among children fall below 50%. It is impossible. We are one. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you. HWPL has continued to achieve results year after year for cessation of war and world peace. IPYG will also continue forward for the realization of peace. Now, to commemorate HWPL's 9th anniversary of the Declaration of World Peace, we will meet peace messengers who are hard at work with HWPL around the world. We will begin with the Peace Journalist Report shared by reporters around the globe. Even at this time, innocent lives are being sacrificed due to countless conflicts. With HWPL, peace journalists are assisting conflict resolution by actively reporting on international conflicts, as well as activities conducted by peace organizations and activists. Today, we will have a HWPL peace journalist share about the current situation and peace in a conflicted country. Please welcome Mr. Supalak Ganjanakundi, current visiting fellow at Thammasat University's Preeti Banyamong International College and former editor-in-chief of The Nation.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Supalak. I'm a visiting fellow at the Preeti Banyamong International College, Thammasat University, Bangkok, Thailand. I will present today for the commemoration of peace process on the Thailand South, a continuity of peace talk, but that is still far away from the realities. An agreement in principle reached by Thai authorities and separatist Barisan Revolusi Nationals, or the widely known as the BRN, on the beginning of April to have a temporary truce during the holy months of Ramadan, give some hope for peace in Thailand relative South. But many questions remain how far such a peace process can go, and that's the reason why my participation in this building under leadership of the Heavenly Culture, World Peace, Restoration of Life, HWPL, is so important to peace process in Thailand South. To that end, the international efforts to bring peace to the violence-laden region is essential. Some 7,300 people have been killed, 13,000 others injured, in 21,000 violence incidents occurred in the predominantly Muslim region of Thailand since early 2004. The violence, however, was confined in only 3 provinces in the southernmost part border to Malaysia, namely Pattani, Yala, Narathiwat, and a few districts in Songkhla province nearby. The root cause of the violence could be traced back more than a century ago, when the Kingdom of Thailand, then known as Siam, annexed the regions where the home of vast majority Muslim Malay. Bangkok elites understand that the roots of the violence occurs by Muslim insurgents lie in the criminal of people with distinct ethnic religion identities. Vast majorities of the populations of the regions are Muslim Malay, want to enjoy the unique way of life in the predominantly Buddhist country like Thailand. Many members of Bangkok elites, however, views crimes and local political conflicts as a crucial factor behind the violence. Thai authorities have relied on search and destroy military operations to contain the violence, but they failed to restore peace so far. Previous attempt to restore peace has been relatively ineffective. The Thai government initiated peace talk for the first time in 2013 during the administration of Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra. 3 rounds of the dialogue with the BRN enabled two sides to know each other, but failed to yield any results. The failure was due to the poor management of the talk and, more importantly, the political turmoil in Bangkok then. In 2014, Prime Minister Yingluck was toppled by a group of generals who were less support in these efforts. The military government under General Prayut Chan-o-cha saw an international interest of working towards peace in the region, but it changed its chief negotiator 3 times without making any concrete progress toward peace. While saying that it's championed the cause of peace in the Deep South, The 2014 to 2019 military government did not have a clear policy on the war. Military commanders who oversee the respective regions sometimes rock the boat. So the new chief negotiator General Panlop Laksanov, who assumed the position in October 2019, has shown confidence in his meeting with the BIA. The former chief of National Council, Wanlop, was regarded as, by many observers and experts as a flexible person who is willing to listen and adjust the plan in accordance with the local demand and achieve the peace. With Malaysia facilitation, the latest truce known as Ramadan Peace Initiative commit to stop violence during the fasting months of Ramadan until May 14th this year. The so-called gentleman agreement, given that the both parties did not sign any official documents to endorse it, members of separated variants were allowed to return home to spend time with their families during the holy month. However, the temporary truce might not be able to end the chronic violence for many reasons. One, it is premature to judge whether such an agreement would be effectively implemented by both sides, given that the BIN might not be able to control its new generation fighters on the ground, and the military maintain its search and destroy mode. So this might be some operative cell of the insurgents who failed to honor the truce, which they didn't agree at the first place. So violence incident took place on 18 and 19 April as two men were shot, injured, and one dead by unknown gunmen in Patani and Rajasthan province respectively. Number two, why the truce might create a conducive atmosphere for the further discussion. Thai authorities have consistently shown their reluctance to go further for political dialogues, and some officials said they don't want to uplift the separatist status to sit with them equally. Number three, the truce was facilitated by Malaysian officials in Kuala Lumpur for the sake of trust by both parties. But Thailand's fear of internationalization of the peace process. Therefore, they deny any involvement of international observers. Such attitudes would prevent international community from witnessing the implementation and verification of its effectiveness. Nobody knows how and what kind of method to implement the truth. Number four, why Muslim Malay openly call for a certain levels of autonomy. Thai authorities are not ready to discuss any sense of self-determination due to the fear of separation from Thailand. The term autonomy, if not independent, is a taboo issue for Thailand elite to discuss. They always cling to the concept of the unitary state and inseparable land. So, in conclusion, the history of peace talk has already delivered its verdict that any peace process would lead to lasting peace must address the problem at its root cause and must be conducted along the democratization with intensively participation of not only stakeholders but also civil society. Thai authorities said they allow participation of civil society to the peace process. But let me take about the peace process in the Philippines, Mindanao, for an example to demonstrate how international civil society get involved. Back in 2014, Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Lives HWPL and international NGO mediated conflict in Mindanao by proposing a peace agreement by local representatives. With by Chairman Lee of the HWPL, the peace agreement was signed by Honorable HWPL G. Mangku Dadatu, the then governors of Mangku Mindanao, and Archbishop Espetor Fernando Capella of the Archbishops of Davao, representing local leadership. Since then, the province of Mindanao and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, or MILF, declared January 24 as the HWPL Peace Day and have commemorated it as an annual event to reaffirm international cooperation and local partnership for peace building in Mindanao. This Peace Initiative took place on 14 March this year. at the HWPL's 6th annual commemoration of Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, or DPCW, when over 5,000 participants got together under the theme Institutionalizing Peace, Building a Legal Foundation for Sustainable Peace. The UN affiliate NGO HWPL has endorsed combined effort of governments and civil society effort that leads to the institutionalization of peace in each society. Its DPCW proclaimed in 2016 has provided guides to citizen-led peace advocacy in the line with international organizations including the UN, the African Union, the European Union, that have states normative guidelines as a standard of substantial conflict resolution with the participation of the women and youth. This is for peace. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. HWPL's peace journalism is objectively reporting on conflict situations and peace activities in different countries in order to build collective awareness of peace around the globe. Next, we will move on to religion and hear a presentation titled Forming and Putting into Action a Common Spirit for Religious Harmony and Peace.
Hello, my name is Simon Klöti, the chair of the Swiss Zurich World Alliance of Religions Peace Office, or WARP Office for short, who will present on the theme of formation of common will for religious peace and practices. It is nice to meet you. Numerous wars and divisions due to religion have brought much suffering to mankind. To prevent such religious conflicts, HWPL held the World Peace Summit in September 2014 with religious leaders around the world and proceeded with the World Alliance of Religions Agreement. Since then, to implement the agreement, various campaigns to spread the culture of religious peace have been carried out, such as the scripture comparison dialogues and religious youth peace camp. Especially in 2022, we are laying the foundation for institutionalization through the signing of an MOU with religious leaders. A total of 14 MOUs between religious leaders were signed, online and offline, from January 2022 to April 2022. Through this, they promised to expand WARP offices, host religious youth peace camps, and participate in various religious peace activities. I would like to introduce a notable activity held alongside the MOU signings of 2022. This is the case in Lampur, India. Let's hear from the representative of the International Organization for Religion and Knowledge about the unveiling ceremony. Mr. Saeed Abdullah Tariq, nice to meet you. I heard that you recently signed an MOU and held a monument unveiling ceremony. Please briefly introduce yourself.
I am Saeed Abdullah Tariq from India, the head of a peace NGO, World Organization of Religions and Knowledge. It's a long name. The abbreviation is WORK, work. We at work are ever ready to cooperate with anyone for the good of humanity. So we have a tie-up with some other organizations too. The latest in the series is HWPL, with whom we signed an MOU in March 2022. I had regularly been taking part in WARP office meetings, and in 2018, HWPL had also made me a publicity ambassador.
What is the significance of the MOU signed between WORK and HWPL?
In 2018, I visited Korea for HWPL's World Peace Summit. And I saw the level of dedication and volunteers of HWPL. After seeing them, I realized that it is possible that they will reach their goal. The main objective of HWPL is world peace. Achieving peace means wars should stop in this world, and prohibiting wars must be legalized and approved by United Nations and international law. HWPL is making continuous efforts towards this goal. HWPL activities are being continually conducted in different parts of the world, and we must be associated with it. In India, I believe that we should work together especially after signing an MOU. Now it's a union. With this union, there are goals, purposes, and responsibilities. We have had a really good relationship since we started working together. But now we have responsibilities and obligations towards each other. So when HWPL and work are working as one after this MOU, it will definitely bring good results.
What does the establishment of the Peace Monument mean to you?
At least 4 times every year, people will gather in large numbers to where the Peace Monument is erected. They will see the messages of the Declaration of World Peace proclaimed by Chairman Man Hee Lee, engraved in the Peace Monument. It is the story of how he started the big task of peace in 2013. I see that it was a cornerstone of making history. Work will be the part of that history in which we go ahead. Additionally, I'm sure we'll not remain in history, but we'll make history together, and the people will remember us for that.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Syed Abdullah Tariq. The strong heart for peace was felt in your words. Next, let's talk about the Religious Youth Peace Camp. In order to gather and practice a common will for religious peace, the participation of civil society is very important. The Religious Youth Peace Camp is a prime example of a case that can lead to the formation and practice of a common will between religions. To introduce the camp program, first there is a religion flag to increase understanding of different religious cultures. Religious leaders attending the WARP offices film their place of worship and introduce their religious culture. It is an opportunity to acknowledge and understand the differences that come from religious differences. There is also a program to recognize and discuss solutions to religious discrimination situations. The goal is to provide an indirect experience of religious discrimination and conflict through group games. Let's take a moment to listen to the testimonies of participants in the Religious Youth Peace Camp. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Raisa Sheikh and I am a speech and language pathologist. I am a student on the Sufi path and I belong to the Ansari Qadri Rifai Tariqa, or AQRT for short, in Durban, South Africa.
What kind of programs were there at the Religious Youth Peace Camp program, and what was the most memorable?
The HWPL Religious Youth Peace Camp was fantastic and I really enjoyed attending it. We looked at videos of various faiths. These included Buddhism, Sikhism, Judaism, Christianity, Hinduism, and my faith, Islam. The activities involved a board game, as well as the history on the Mindanao conflict and a pop quiz at the end. All the activities were rich in information sharing, as well as opening our minds to various perspectives. The board game left an indelible impression on me. It was fun and looked at major and minor religions. Specifically, it focused on school life, religious freedom, places of worship, work life, and it was comprehensive in that it provided various scenarios for participants.
What was the board game? Put yourself in someone else's shoes, and what was your impression after participating?
As a minor religion, one of the scenarios that I faced playing the board game, and this happens in real life, so it was a really good way for us to put ourselves in another person's shoe, so to speak. So it looked at school, and if you belonged to a major religion, you went to school, you made friends, you were accepted, you were well understood. If you belonged to a minor religion, you attended school, you were not understood. It was difficult for you to make friends, and you were not accepted. So you were faced with a choice, and the choice that I was given in the board game was that you choose to wear your religious attire and could be denied entry into school, so you're denied an education, or you choose to wear your religious attire and you lose points. And in real life, we know that often people are discriminated against based on how they dress. So I very quickly started to see how it was going to be very difficult for me, not just to win, but to even come out of that game feeling good about myself, feeling understood, feeling accepted.
how did you feel after participating in the religious youth peace camp?
So what I realized is that when we join these spaces of youth peace camps, interfaith scripture dialogue, and when we put ourselves in another person's shoe, when we look at things from various perspectives, we're able to then keep an open mind and understand differences and not discriminate based on those differences, but rather to look at those similarities and then come together so that we can ultimately live as God wants us to live, as brother and sister, as a community, as a nation, as humanity. And I think that the Youth Peace Camp was a really great opportunity for us to learn about religions that we might not have in our local community.
Yes, thank you. In addition, peace-themed recreation, growing peace, and religious cultural experiences were held at the Religious Youth Peace Camp. Furthermore, there are continued practical activities to solve various difficulties currently occurring in various parts of the world. Examples include the announcement of a statement calling for the resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in 2021 and the delivery of a thank you letter to coronavirus medical workers. Religious peace activities targeting civil society allows them to meet and become one with each other in the arena of dialogue and exchange beyond the walls of religion, ethnicity, and nation. 2022 is the year to further develop a culture of religious peace. The signing of MOUs with HWPL and religious organizations will continue. The signing of an MOU with a religious organization has become a valuable foundation for spreading a culture of religious peace. It will make it possible to build a beautiful world of peace in the future.
Thank you for informing us about meaningful activities conducted by religious believers, such as MOUs for realization of peace among religions, peace monuments, and religious peace camps. Now we will learn about how Metaverse is being utilized for peace education. Education reached a new turning point as the online world became more active due to COVID-19. Let's hear about the new attempts by HWPL's peace education through the Fostering Citizens of Peace for the Institutionalization of Peace, HWPL Peace Education in India using Metaverse.
Hello, I am Victoria Mutum from India and I'm working as a peace educator. HWPL has been conducting peace education in around 62 countries including Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Afghanistan and Myanmar, where people are suffering from conflicts and wars. HWPL has also been trying to make a culture of peace in the world. Today, I would like to introduce a case where peace education was taught using the Metaverse, which was conducted in Jagran Public School, India. Let's watch a video to see how the students learned about peace through the Peace Academy in the virtual world called the Metaverse, while students have been struggling to have a face-to-face education because of the pandemic.
Due to the prolonged COVID-19 pandemic, no one in the world is free from the virus and it seemed likely that peace education would shrink. However, the passion for peace has turned the crisis into an opportunity and peace education has met a new world. The place from which the peace education was taught was not in a Jagran public school. Surprisingly, it was at a student's house.
Aren't you playing a game? Are you sure you're in the class?
I'm currently participating in HWPL class. This is my avatar. It may look like a game, but it is more than to me because I learn about peace.
Peace education was taking place in the virtual world on a computer. Just like students put on a school uniform and tidy themselves before going to school, the student chooses and customizes an avatar. Going to school with a click. The student attends peace education in the Peace Village as the avatar.
What kind of experience can you have?
In the class, we organize different activities. We listen to the lectures, we listen to different videos, everyone gives their presentations, and we have various activities. And things which I like about Peace Village are some peace monuments, the stadium, the Warp office, and the DPCW exhibition hall.
Yes, with Metaverse, they're able to read the e-books, visit the HWPL village, they can interact in the classroom also, they're able to have quiz contests and games, and it's a wonderful experience for the teachers also and for the students also. They're learning so much. So they are learning about being a world citizen, the usefulness of being a world citizen.
Metaverse is a compound word that combines meta, meaning virtual or transcending, and universe. It refers to the virtual world where people can take part in social, economic, and cultural activities. What is unique about the metaverse is that it has been developed to a higher level where people can interact with others through their avatars just as they would in reality. From 3 rounds of peace education conducted through the metaverse, students learned that a law-abiding spirit is necessary to institutionalize peace and the necessity of a law for peace. Students introduced themselves in each group, played a racing game where they learned how to be considerate and respectful, and took a quiz on HWPL's 3 main peace initiatives. They also learned the necessity of having a law to achieve peace and cease wars through the video of the war that recently broke out. Furthermore, they came up with a law for peace through group discussion.
In the lesson, I have learned about the need for international law to achieve peace. We need a law that can achieve peace. It is important that people abide by the law, and if all people become citizens of peace, we would not even need the law.
What was the most memorable thing in the Metaverse Peace Education class?
The most memorable thing from me in the peace education class was the first video of the stadium. So it proves that there is no benefit in war from any side, even the winning nor the losing side. So we should stop the wars and live very peacefully.
When did you feel most accomplished during your contribution for peace education?
During the time of pandemic, students mostly what they have experienced is this, be it a loss of family member, be it they're in the neighborhood or relative. So they were in a state of chaos. So peace education worked as breather for them. So when they came to school and they were attending these peace education classes, the changes I've observed is this, that they were looking out for their friends, helping each other out, uplifting others. So I think that's how it has helped the students. From being in a state of chaos to being in a state of the peaceful, calm, composed, stable. That's how it is.
These are the students' response after taking the peace education through the metaverse. Every participant stated that the class was valuable. Not only that, but they also said that they become interested in taking classes through the metaverse, and they showed their support for the DPCW becoming a legally binding document.
The most memorable scene I felt was a creative interaction between my teachers and my friends, and we all were learning about peace through metaverse, which are not found in normal online means.
Before HWPL was introduced, I never thought about peace, but now the education had changed my thoughts. Even when I'm interacting with my parents or friends, I felt too that I'm being very polite with them, and which they also liked. And now my time management is better too, and I can handle my moods and emotions.
Has anything changed since you attended the peace education classes?
That I was not very cooperative before taking these classes, but after taking these classes, I've learned how to be cooperative and how to maintain peace.
Our passion for peace leads our children to love peace more, and our concern for peace leaves peace as a legacy for our children. Why don't we attend the HWPL Peace Academy in the Metaverse?
How was the video? The platform Metaverse allowed students to discuss the matter of peace actively and voluntarily beyond the circumstantial limits caused by the pandemic. It is easy and simple to create the Peace Academy in the Metaverse. If you have any inquiries about it, please feel free to reach out to the Peace Education Department. We will help and support you. I'm sure that our concern and the work to pass down the world of peace to our children will bring about a bright future. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for listening.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you. The presentation introduced a new and innovative educational scene where students learn about the importance of the DPCW and how to live by it through metaverse peace education. HWPL's peace education, which has fostered countless peace citizens until now, is also supporting Ukraine, which is currently suffering from war. A fundraiser was held in April, which provided relief supplies to the faculty and students of 4 different schools. In addition, the International Conference on the Restoration of Peace in Ukraine was hosted by HWPL and Businesswoman magazine on April 21st. The conference shared on the humanitarian support for Ukraine and proposed a way for the international society to work together to achieve restoration of peace in Ukraine. It's time for the last interview. Let's hear a presentation from the youth of IPYG titled Peace Can Be Realized by Action.
We also prepared a special video for this year. This is the 9th anniversary. I'm Benjamin. I'm the host of this IPYG presentation video. We also have Alvinda with us today. And we also have Nathan, who will be delivering a presentation today. So, Mr. Nathan, what are you going to talk about today?
Hi everyone, my name is Nathan Michael Sonda. I'm the president of the youth organization called Springs of Poetry. We are located in Zambia, Copperbelt, Kalurushi. So Zambia is a Christian nation and it is the smallest country in the continent of Africa, and half of the population is consisted of the youths. So today I prepared a video to show you our activities as Springs of Poetry and the peace education in cooperation with HWPL and IPYG.
So talking about Zambia, Zambia is a small country which has got 72 tribes in 10 provinces. And when we talk about these tribes, they've got different cultures, different traditional ceremonies, yet they live in peace and harmony with each other. And so Springs of Poetry, it is a group that has been affiliated to IPYG, and whatever that we learned from IPYG and HWPL, we are implementing it in Kalurushi, and we are also implementing it in such a way that we are using our activities such as drama, poetry, dancing and singing. These are the tools, or these are the ways that we are using in order to spread the message of peace to the people in Kalurushi.
Wow, they're doing a lot of different activities.
Yeah, that's right. As such, the members of the Spring of Poetry, including Nathan, are carrying out the most multiple project and also practice peace in the community.
Yes.
And cover all the expenses.
Wow, a million thanks to them for their commitment.
It is true that Zambia is facing a lot of challenges, such as unemployment, drugs and alcohol abuse, especially conflicts. But last year, through our special program with IPYG YEPSI, I discovered a way of solving this issue in our community. So I moved to Kalungwishi, where we were gathering, and most of the youths could not manage to attend online classes, so we began to have offline classes. And through that, a lot of youths have gained knowledge, and they are also sharing the message of peace in our community. And some of them could not understand the language, rather the lessons in English. So we were translating all our messages or our lessons into our Zambian local languages.
Yes, so we as IPYG, we actually talked about what young people are encountering, right? And so last year, when we ran the IPYG Youth Empowerment Peace Workshop, it's also known as the HWPL. So it's a discussion platform for young people around the world. And what we realized actually is that young people find it problematic that in many parts of the world it's actually not sufficient education, like the access to it is very limited. And so even though education is a right, we notice that it's not enough, right? And so more than 250 million children actually are not able to attend school. That is 1/6 of all the youth in the world.
Wow, that's quite impressive.
Yes, indeed. And so consequently, IPYG actually started planning the YEPSI. And many young people who were aware of the gravity of these social issues actually took the courses. And so it consists of the HWPL's required courses, which are the peace educations, but then there are also some elective courses. You may think about global citizenship education, there are parent educations, and then there's also the youth health education. And these are all optional subjects, and these courses are actually very essential to the youth.
Yes, when I was teaching, all the participants liked it, and they were so passionate about learning. And even though it was more than an hour walk, but everyone managed to complete the YEPSI class. So last February, 44 people from Springs of Poetry completed the YEPSI program, and they also joined the completion ceremony that was held at the Kalurushi New Covenant Church, and also invited 200 people from the community that gathered to witness the completion ceremony of the YEPSI class.
Wow, I really enjoyed this video. Nathan, what moved you so many people to join the efforts?
I think the momentum for such great efforts is the family of peace who are working together to fulfill the peace. Now let's listen to a short interview.
So first of all, I would like to say thank you to HWPL and IPYG for the great lessons that you've been offering to us. Personally, I have learned a lot and my perception about the world has changed. The main purpose of HWPL, Peace Education, is to train and educate people to become citizens of peace and peace messengers so that they can work together with HWPL to spread a culture of peace in all parts of the world. So just as war and conflict starts from the mind, we should also instill the mind of peace in the minds of the young ones. Therefore, let us work together to create a world of peace and leave it as a long-lasting legacy for the future generations. We are one. I thank you.
Well, thank you for the video, Mr. Nathan. And we can see all the things that Mr. Nathan has achieved, right? So,
yeah.
But now, can we also hear about Nathan's future plans? I'd like to know what you're really up to.
Thank you for sharing this great opportunity once again. As I shared, youth can practice and contribute to peace building. Especially young people who have experienced conflicts at first hand have a vital role to play in peace building. They have a clear vision and a strong desire for peace that could look like in their countries and communities, and have the drive to work towards it. Youth can play a greater role in peace building. Supporting education and capacity building for peace is need for peace building. Access to education is fundamental for facilitating young people's positive engagement in peace. The introduction of peace education live can be very helpful. I definitely think educational programs such as YEPSI should reach a larger population as well. Ultimately, policies for peace must be institutionalized and expanded. I believe we can make it when we cooperate with each other. We are one. Thank you.
Oh, this is wonderful. Thank you so much for your insights.
Yes, and I look forward to the emergence of many peace leaders in Zambia in the future, and I will also support them.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Nathan Musonda interview with us today. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. The youth of IPYG are publicizing the initiative to institutionalizing peace and its importance, and are also actively teaching and volunteering. They shared various peace activities that anyone can participate in. The presentations showed how peace can be actualized through peace activities conducted by different organizations in cooperation with HWPL. Please give another big round of applause to everyone who participated in the interviews. Next, we will watch a commemorative video of the members of IPYG who just presented their determination to achieve peace through action. Let us watch the passion and determination of the IPYG members who are marching towards cessation of war and world peace.
Some people say that it's a dream. It's a dream that peace will never happen here. It is possible to wish. It will always be impossible to meet.
One seems to be like it will never be enough. But if we come as one, can you hear it's finally here? Coming near, there's no need to fear. Get on your feet, feel the beating heart that's beating for the peace. Finally, made it clear, we never say never. Can you hear it's finally here? Coming near, there's no need to fear. Get on your feet, feel the beating heart that's beating for the peace. Finally, we are seeing, we are shining more than ever. We are one. We are one. We are one. We are one. Scattered dreams and hearts of ours, we have always been the victims of the wars, but never hesitate to stand up for the peace, 'cause we're the ones to bring it back. I show you a miracle, trust me. What seems to be like it will never be enough, but if we come as one, can you hear it's finally here? Coming near, there's no need to fear. Get on your feet, feel the beating heart that's beating for the peace. Finally, we are seeing, we are shining more than ever. We are one. We are one. We are one. The one will never make it through. As one, we surely make it come true. Let us shine, so the world will never be darkened anymore. Unite together, there's nothing we can do. We will never stop. We will never stop. We are one. Let us stand and fly to the sky. We are one. Glowing stars light up the world. We are one. Don't look around, just follow your heart. We are
Thank you. I believe the voice of the youth for realization of peace touched everyone's hearts. Please give a round of applause to support and encourage the members of IPYG who will create a world of peace together with HWPL. Next, we will hear from the IWPG chairwoman Yoon Hyun-suk. IWPG is another wing of HWPL that has brought the eyes and hearts of 3.9 billion women around the world together as one collective network. Please give her a great round of applause.
Greetings, peace families. My name is Hyun-suk Yoon, the chairwoman of IWPG. It is my pleasure to meet all the distinguished guests, members of the youth group and women group who are attending the 9th annual commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace by HWPL. Here in Korea, where I live, spring is in full swing. Winter snow that was on dry branches just a few months ago are replaced by spring flowers and green leaves that are abundant everywhere. It's amazing. I can see why so many idiomatic expressions about spring have come into existence. When the dark era ends and the age of hope begins, when everything becomes new, we sometimes say, winter is over and spring has come. If you look at the history of mankind, there have always been conflicts and wars between different ideologies, nations, races, and peoples and religions. Thousands of young people who have risked their precious lives to advocate for freedom and peace without ever getting the chance to bloom. And it would not be an exaggeration to say that the life we enjoy today was built on their sacrifice. In this way, mankind has been longing for a spring of freedom and peace. But too many people have lost their lives in the process, and civil wars and conflicts continue even at this moment. In Ukraine and Myanmar, countless lives are being lost as guns are aimed at each other. The reality in which we have no choice but to raise our arms to protect peace. Is this the world that we dreamed of? Current international law cannot fundamentally prevent war and cannot effectively sanction it. This Russian invasion of Ukraine has clearly exposed the ineffectiveness of the current international law. In the name of world peace, the limitations of the current international law, which provide an excuse for de facto war, instead of maintaining peace in the world's weakest countries, should not be neglected any longer. Today, we are gathered here to realize a world of peace. On this day 9 years ago, at the same time as the proclamation of the Declaration of World Peace by Chairman Man-hee Lee, young people from all over the world started holding peace walks. Using the Declaration of World Peace as a foundation, the 10 articles and 38 clauses of the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, DPCW, was proclaimed in March 2019. This is a declaration made by HWPL in collaboration with international law experts and is an innovative and clear answer to peace that legally institutionalizes the fundamental prevention of war, a reliable solution, and a sustainable world of peace. IWPG is carrying out a peace movement in cooperation with 3.9 billion women around the world with the goal of implementing sustainable peace. We are urging support for the establishment of DPCW, the surest answer to peace, in the United Nations, and through education of IWPG Women Peace Lectures based on the values of the Declaration of World Peace and the DPCW, we are reiterating the reason why all 3.9 billion women should become one in the direction of action. In March, a side event during UNCSW was held with the Ministry of Women, Family, and Children of the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire and suggested that sustainable peace education and action for women is important for the world to enter the era of peace. About 1,700 women activists from around the world, including ministers, secretary generals, lawyers, and representatives of women's organizations from each country, participated in this event and communicated with IWPG. And women from all over the world have expressed their desire to collaborate with IWPG to do peace works together. In addition, to commemorate the peace activities of women united with the IWPG, and to spread the support to urge for the establishment of DPCW as an international law, we plan to build an IWPG Peace Activity Monument in each region starting this year. IWPG will continue to create a world that commemorates peace rather than commemorating war, in order to spread a culture of lasting peace. In order for a tree to grow, it must first have a small seed. We planted the seeds of peace in cooperation with HWPL and IPYG. And now the flowers of peace are blooming. Soon it will bear fruit. To bear strong fruits of peace, our active actions are necessary. What we need to do is to spread the culture of peace through peace education and urge for the 10 articles and 38 clauses of the DPCW to be established as an international law. Youth and women around the world, let's all unite and join in the work of peace. Peace is no longer a vague dream, but a reality for which we have a clear answer. Let's create a global spring together through the institutionalization of lasting peace, not war. We are one. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you. IWPG is working for peace with united hearts, warm motherhood, dedication, and sacrifice. Please give IWPG Chairwoman Yoon Hyun-suk another warm round of applause. Next, we will hear a commemorative address from HWPL Chairman Lee Man-hee. He established HWPL and declared the Declaration of World Peace to share the value of peace to people around the world. We will now hear from Chairman Lee, who proposed the DPCW, which holds the answer to actualizing peace and is working to transform the global value system. Please give him a great round of applause.
네, 오늘은 HWPL
Today marks the 9th anniversary of HWPL's Declaration of World Peace. A warm greeting to the family of peace around the world.
약 9년 전 한국 평화의 문 앞에서 기념
Do you remember
기억하십니까?
the commemoration held in front of the Peace Gate in Korea 9 years ago?
평화를 위해
I have been calling for peace and the cessation of wars, making trips around the globe 31 times,
각국 지도자들
and spoke to world leaders, supreme justices, chairs of national assemblies, and religious leaders.
이날 세계 처음으로
This was the day the Declaration of World Peace was proclaimed by HWPL for the first time.
세계에 알리게 된 것입니다. 여러분들 다 기억하시죠?
I am sure you all remember.
5월 25일 말입니다.
It was May 25th.
5월 25일입니다.
Today is May 25th. It was today 9 years ago.
이 HWPL 자유와 평화
Then how far has HWPL's message of freedom and peace reached throughout the world?
생각해 봤습니까?
Has this ever crossed your mind?
이 사람은 지구촌 전쟁 종시의 평화를 이루어
With a mission of building a lasting legacy of peace and cessation of wars for future generations. I have traveled around the globe 31 times and met with heads of state, supreme justices, speakers of parliaments, and religious leaders.
왜 만났겠습니까?
Why did I do so?
자유와 평화를 이루고자.
It was to bring freedom and peace
그래서
together.
이러한 지도자들을 만나서
And once I met the leaders
약속을 하고 함께
and promised to work together for peace,
다짐받고 그러고는 어떻게 했습니까?
what was next?
만국 회의를 열었죠. 예, 만국
We hosted the HWPL World Peace Summit.
한국 서울에서
The HWPL World Peace Summit was hosted in Seoul, Korea.
무엇인가요?
What was the outcome of that conference?
정치인들은 국제법을
Political leaders pledged to work toward international law for peace. Religious leaders pledged to bring religious harmony within God.
지구촌 모든 단체장들은
And leaders of civil societies pledged to urge for such efforts.
하나님 앞에서
That day, we pledged before God and before the people of the world.
여러분은
I am sure you remember.
이는 지구촌의 전쟁 종시의 평화를
It was a promise to realize peace and the cessation of wars, and to leave a legacy of freedom and peace for generations to come. as you would remember.
기억하시죠? 한데
But then
문제가 한 게
there was one problem.
유엔을 창설한 것은
The United
평화를
Nations
위해서 창설한
was formed for peace, to my knowledge.
이 유엔에서는
In the UN,
이사국 5개 나라가
there are
있습니다.
5 standing members at the UN Security Council.
이사국 5개 나라로 세워
The 5 member states are supposed to keep watch and prevent wars.
했습니다.
However,
그 5개
one state out of those 5 members, Russia, recently invaded Ukraine and started a war.
이래서
This is precisely why the peace family of HWPL had called for an international legal instrument for peace.
일어날 우려가 있으니
Keeping the status quo would still pose a risk of wars.
그래서
So we have asked for international legal measures.
아주
To this end,
전문가들
we convened recognized international law experts, the HWPL International Law Peace Committee, and drafted 10 articles and 38 clauses of the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War. The contents were announced to the world. The next step is to submit the DPCW to the UN for a vote to adopt it.
우리 평화 가족들은
Once put to the vote, all the peace family will say it must be incorporated into law.
그래서 이 사람은 그의 어느 날 유엔에 가서
On one UN day, I was at the UN headquarters
이 국제법 제정
and was given a chance to speak to a large group regarding international law and the DPCW.
유엔에 있는 사람들
The audience responded with a standing ovation.
이를 보아 국제법 제정
It gives me confidence that the 10 articles and 38 clauses of the DPCW will be adopted as an international legal instrument for peace. Why is this necessary? For peace and cessation of war, and to give freedom and peace to future generations, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, if we call ourselves a member of this global society, no matter who we are, we must become messengers of peace. This has been our message. I have seen your hard work and dedication to peace. I know very well how hard you've worked. What we do is witnessed by the heavens and the earth. Korea historically experienced invasion, and its people suffered greatly under oppression for a long time. Then the nation was liberated. With the independence, the Korean people hoped the nation would finally have freedom and peace. However, the country was once again cut through the middle by decisions made at the Potsdam Conference in Germany. There were people who decided on that divide. What could be greater despair? Hands clasped, gazing up as we pleaded to the divine. The hills and rivers cried with us. The stars cried with us. We had thought our nation had won its liberty, but rather it was cut in half. Then the southern half was stricken by the north. Can you imagine how many young lives were lost? What is true peace? And what is liberty? Ladies and gentlemen, members of the family of peace, isn't it to have no more wars in our world that we are doing the work of peace? If so, for the sake of our conscience, we must not seek violent aggression ever again. As people born into one world, why should we kill one another? On one anniversary, we held this commemoration at the UN cemetery. The men and women who lie there were soldiers who fell fighting next to me at the front lines during the Korean War, and HWPL went there to commemorate the Declaration of World Peace. People from countries that share a similar history with mine would be able to relate to the story. The sorrow from the loss of your country, the grief of having your country divided, how heartbreaking it is. Will we let this happen again? Nationalities, ethnicities, and religions did not matter. With a goal set to achieve peace and cessation of wars, and building a lasting legacy, I have traveled around the world 31 times. None of it was for personal gain or out of self-interest. It was solely for peace, to establish peace. Currently, we are in the middle of the COVID-19 situation, and people in respective countries are struggling. In these times, we must keep ourselves safe and hope for the best. I pray to God. This is what I pray. God, please save us. Make the coronavirus recede from the global community. This world is your creation, Father God. As you love this world, please let COVID go away. This is how I pray to God. And as for us, we made a promise to God and the global citizens, pledging peace activities and the cessation of war. We must keep our promise, ladies and gentlemen. Please be the ones to call for peace in your respective countries. And one day we would have fulfilled our promises. Don't you agree? Think about it. There are young lives born into our world every day. For those babies, for the future of those young children, should we give death? We should give them life. We should give them hope, shouldn't we? Shouldn't we give them freedom and peace? In this regard, I invite the family of peace to write to the President of Russia. Let's write letters to stop the war immediately and explain there must be no more killing. No matter how many letters it takes to deliver the message, we must keep writing to the Russian president. The current situation cannot go on. Also, let us keep our work to submit the DPCW to the UN and have it implemented as international law. Furthermore, change is needed for the 5 standing members of the UN Security Council. Because those 5 member states were the ones that had a stake in instigating aggression, as you all know. Why make false promises? Once you make a promise, you must keep your word. Dear family of peace, let us stay unchanged. No matter how far apart, we are one family. Under the banner of peace and freedom, with this shared cause, we are together. As we call for and strive for this cause, heaven and earth are watching us, and God is listening. We have no power. It is God who has power. I believe that God will give help for our collective efforts. And I am sure I speak for all of us when I say this. Yes, it is true. Now, the Declaration of World Peace of May 25th must carry on without stopping until the day it is fulfilled. Let us garner our minds and hearts. Let us invite many more to join the cause of peace, to become a family of peace. Let us keep campaigning. During the World Peace Tour, I spoke many times on broadcasting channels. At broadcasting stations, I also made journalists and media staff HWPL's Peace Family and appointed them as publicity ambassadors. They will remember when they hear this message. Just as they promised to cover peace continuously in their productions, we must keep calling for peace until we complete our task of establishing global peace. We are a family of peace. We are a family of God. Wouldn't God come and dwell when the world becomes a world of peace? A world of fighting and killing will not be ready for God to come. And when God does come, He will bless us, since He is the source of all blessings. Let us keep this in mind. I have personally read and studied many prophecies of ancient prophets. It's true. I read the poem of Tagore from India, and I also read the prophecy by a prophet called Namsago from Korea. Prophets said the world to come is a good place without death or tears. Will it happen on its own? No, we must make it happen. It's on us. We must create a good place. Then will God come. And when God comes and dwells with us, everything will be good. So we must prepare for God to come and build a world of peace. Throughout my 31 rounds of the peace tour, I have met many of you, and all of you I've met, I keep close to my heart. You are close to my heart. The fact that we are a family of peace and the freedom we want, these never leave my thoughts, and you are always in my prayers. I ask that you also pray for me so that God can hear your prayers. And let us remember, with our bond as one family, let us remember, I believe we all know the cause that we work for. Once the pandemic eases, I shall resume the World Peace Tour, and we may meet again. So let's also pray for the end of COVID-19. Everyone, let's be well and alive, and let us stop the fight. We are one, not two. We are a family of peace made in heaven, aren't we? We truly are. The work we do will make history in each country, and our children and their children will remember us. I certainly believe so. What is today's date? It is May 25th. Today is the day the Declaration of World Peace was proclaimed to the global community 9 years ago. It's already been 9 years. We want to complete this race as soon as we can. My prayers go to you, your families, and your countries. I pray that your countries will be in God's protection and be strong, just, and truthful nations full of comfort and freedom. I send great blessings to you. God be with you. In God and under the banner of peace, we are one. Isn't that true? Then let us say it out loud. Please say it with me. We are one. Thank you.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you. Chairman Lee Man-hee, who experienced the devastation of war firsthand as a veteran, reminded us why we need to work for peace. Political, religious, and social figures are joining HWPL to work for peace, and people around the globe are shouting for peace by saying we are one as peace messengers. Please give another big hand to Chairman Lee Man-hee, who began the efforts. We have already reached the end of today's event. We will now take a commemorative photo in place of the Peace Walk Festival as our event is being held online. Let us shout, "We are one" together. Please raise your right index finger And when I count to 3, please say we are one and hold for 10 seconds.
바로 시작해 보겠습니다.
Shall we say it together?
하나, 둘,
1, 2, 3, we are one.
하나,
1,
둘,
2,
셋,
3,
넷,
4,
다섯,
5,
여섯,
6,
일곱,
7,
여덟,
8,
아홉,
9,
열.
10.
네, 감사합니다.
Thank you.
이것으로 기념 촬영을
With this, we will conclude the commemorative photo session.
얼굴을 마주보고
I am looking forward to the day when we can meet face to face and shout start to begin the Peace Walk Festival. The peace messengers will continue to work until the day peace is secure and wars and conflicts end by achieving world peace through international law, domestic law, and institutionalization of peace to make peace part of our culture and regulations. Our efforts for international law and institutionalization of peace will be the driving force in achieving a world of peace by solving the challenges and threats faced by the world today. I would like to ask everyone here to continue to lead the work of peace as the family members of peace until our desire and goal of world peace is achieved. With this, we will conclude HWPL's 9th anniversary of the Declaration of World Peace. Thank you.
Welcome to HWPL's 9th annual commemoration of the Declaration of World Peace. March 25th, 2013, HWPL proclaimed the Declaration of World Peace at the Peace Gate in Seoul, Korea. Young adults in the center, global citizens embarked on a peace walk, campaigning to become messengers of peace. Now you can bring the spirit of the Declaration of World Peace into your daily fabric and support HWPL's peace activities wherever you are around the globe. Here's how. Sign up and become an HWPL member. Join the work for peace by signing up as a member of HWPL. You can directly support HWPL's activities and be the first to get HWPL's peace news. HWPL offers two types of membership. First, follow these steps to become an individual member. Open your internet browser. From the menu, choose Member, and then choose Register. Click the button for Individual. Please fill out all 10 items. As a member of HWPL, you can support HWPL's peace projects. Please select the membership fee and payment period of your choice. Remember to agree to receive emails to get HWPL's newsletters and the latest news on events. Once you press or click register, you will receive an email for the final step of authentication. Once you authenticate, your membership is registered. Second, follow these steps to sign up as a group member. Go to Member and choose Register. Click the button for Organization. Please fill in the 7 items of member information. Agree to receive emails and get HWPL's newsletters and the latest news on events. After you click or press register, you will receive an authentication email. Once you authenticate, you are now an HWPL member. Sign your support for the DPCW. Choose LP Project from HWPL homepage and open Sign Your Support campaign. You can give your signature in support of the DPCW by filling out your name, nationality, and email address. Click Support now, and your signing is done. From wherever you are, you can become HWPL's member, and you can take part in the peace activity by supporting the DPCW. Join the cause of peace that transcends nations, religions, and ethnicities. Thank you.